So today has been a day of just tinkering. And what I wanted to do today is to build my own tool that could work with Polyscope. Polyscope is a new product, hasn't been out that long, probably, I don't know, a couple of weeks. But it gives you the ability to do multi-agent orchestration. So you can basically run multiple agents in parallel across as many repositories as you have, and they work atop of your Claude Code or your Codex or your Cursor subscription. So basically, it's piggybacking off of what you already pay for, right? And so for me, I decided today to experiment with building my own Tari app. So I vibe coded this today. I've done, Electron, Flutter, but I wanted to sort of build a thing that could do some things that I wanted to do, because the thing I hate is having to switch between multiple applications. It's just drives me mad. So I'm like, I want to build something that's sort of centralized for me and it can do some stuff. And one of the things that I wanted to do is to, control Polyscope. So Polyscope has a VPS offering, so they have a Linux distribution, so you can put Polyscope in the cloud. Polyscope also has an SDK, so they have a JavaScript and a PHP SDK, which gives you the ability to programmatically control Polyscope. And I decided to take the JavaScript SDK and create an MCP server. So what we're going to see here and what we're going to do is we're going to create a work tree or a workspace in Polyscope programmatically. So here we go. See how this goes, people. It's a demo. Can you create an agent for the Polyscope work tree in the implementation AI agent repository, please? And so if this goes well, like I said, it's a demo. Who knows? But what this should do, it should go look up the repositories that are connected to my Polyscope. It should also create a workspace and create an agent that could connect me with that workspace. So it is doing a lookup. It's looking up the repositories, and there's only one connected to it right now. So it's asking me if I do and say yes, it's for a demo, right? So we should see another tool call here in a moment. So it's creating a workspace. So we should see here any second. So there it goes. This is whatever my thing that I built is injecting into it. It's like I said, it's a demo. So, but right now it created a workspace, and to think that first message could have been the prompt that would have said, "Hey, I want you to go write this code, solve this problem," right? If this was like some more formal process, right? So we have that established, but my agent should now, if I switch back, yes. So I have now an agent that my coordinator created that now takes me direct to talk to that very specific workspace. So I can come down here and just be like, hello, or whatever. But, you think you could give it a message that could kick off the work that it's going to go do. Now, since you can send a message, you can also check for messages. But given that, if you've been doing anything with Claude Code, Codex, you understand that those agents can run for longer periods of time. So you're going to have to probably poll for information until there's some sort of a webhook concept or something that can do a callback to let you know when it's done. But I just sent it a message, right? And of course, you see no response from agent because I have another thing that runs on a schedule and is eventually going to check. And you'll probably hear a ding or something that's going to be for the Mac OS notification that'll eventually come in. But what I'm going to tell it to do is create a Jordan PHP config file with a sample key value pair, include a pest test, and check that it passes. Right? So we're going to go give this thing some a task to go do. So what you're going to see is that it's going to go do some stuff. And while it's doing that, let's talk about this. So I'm going to minimize this again, but you get access to all these different models. What is this referred to as the effort level? Then you can have fast mode, standard. You can do, you control it with your voice. But right now, and there's also, you can scan this and do all this from your mobile phone. Come on, people. Like, you let this thing write code and you just go sit on the couch or something, hang out with your family. But when it creates a work tree, it also, like I said, it copies everything. So everything is in isolation. So you can go look at all these files, you can edit them, but as it changes files, you can see which ones it changed. And for anything that it changes, like we all expect, there's a diff that is created. So there is the diff for the config. There's the test, right? And test asserting. Okay, so the test passed, right? So since I only have a local repository, my only option is to merge locally. However, if this was a GitHub repository, you could actually create a PR and everything from here. And then you could also tell it, oh, by the way, after the PR, can you wait 5 minutes and then just check the PR to see if all the checks passed? Because, you know, if you got things that are doing linting, running test, whatever, you could literally tell this thing, hey, wait 5 minutes, do the check, and if all the checks pass, go ahead and merge it, right? You could do that. But just like that, we wrote code, and I could have merged that into my repository, because until you merge it, it's not going to affect anything. So I can right now keep working locally, and nothing I do there will show up here. So really, really cool. But this sort of gives me the ability to kind of talk about this little thing I've been building. So I piggyback off of Claude skills, and so I have various skills that I put into this thing. So I can connect to Jira, Google, GitHub, everything, right? Because think about it like this: like I could have an agent that goes and checks Jira throughout the day, and it could be looking for tasks that are newly assigned, or it could go take bug tickets and go investigate them, and then use Polyscope to solve those problems, right? And it could just do that in an agentic loop and just do that all day. Like that would be freaking amazing. But one of the things I really love playing with is WebMCP. So I have a browser agent that I can set up, and this works with Chrome. So you got to have the Chrome extension, all that, but it connects with Claude. So I could be like, open getPolyscope.com, click on docs, then scroll down to the SDK section, right? And if this all goes well, we should see it open Polyscope in the browser. So we're going to give that a moment. Okay, so there it's going. But think we're using WebMCP right now. We just use all that text, and think you could tell this thing go click on stuff, log in, whatever, right? But right now it went to Polyscope. It's going to go find the docs. It should click on it. Okay, there it did. Okay, now we should scroll down here any moment. Okay, a little more because it's a little further down. But to think of this as was a task that you needed to have done each day. Let's say there's something you had to go log in and check, whatever it may be, right? You could go do that. But yeah, you go down here and there's like the JavaScript SDK, in which I created an MCP server from it. It was really simple. I've used the one for Laravel. It's just as good. I believe they also connect to Herd. Yeah, so I'm a Herd customer. So Marcel, yeah, you get some of my money every year. But I just wanted to kind of show this off. I think this tool that I'm working on could maybe turn into something. My thing is trying to get it not necessarily out of the developer loop, but I think people need to be able to leverage skills and get more things done, especially for the people that are non-technical. But I'm going to scratch my own itch until the meantime. But hey, if you like this, I encourage you to give this video a like, a share. Check out Polyscope. You will be impressed. And great job, Marcel.